Zweiter Nordiren hinter Brandon Dolan, war deshalb auch einige Male beim World Cup of Darts mit dabei und hat die nordirischen Farben vertreten. Aktuell steht er auf Weltranglistenplatz Nummer 103. Die Rede ist von Mickey Mansell. Mickey Mansell trifft auf einen Mann aus den Niederlanden. Er konnte 2 WM-Halbfinals bei der BDO erreichen, hat ein gutes Jahr in diesem Jahr 2017 gespielt, stand in Hildesheim im Achtelfinale auf der European Tour, stand in Sindelfingen im Viertelfinale. Er ist die aktuelle Nummer 56 der Welt. Die Rede ist von Jan Dekker, Double Dekker. Und auch den Caller dieses dritten Matches kennt ihr aus vielen Fernsehübertragungen. Herzlich willkommen, the puppy, George Noble.
Well, wins for Belgian debutant Tony Martinez and the Englishman Jamie Caven so far. Is it going to be a Northern Irishman or a Dutchman who join those two in the second round? Here at the Happy Bet German Darts Grand Prix live from Mannheim as the Clono Cyclone Mickey Mansell takes on Mr. Coat, Jan Dekker. So he does. Paul Nicholson joins me, Dan Dawson, in the commentary box for this one. First time these two have ever met, which surprised me.
I think it's always very surprising when players who've been around a while, it's the first time they've ever met. And from Mickey and Jan's perspective, they will definitely know this. So they'll be trying to put it down a marker to say, right, okay, I'm 1-0 up on you then. So, how will it be?
Well, as everybody you see today has had to do, they've come through qualifiers to get here. Jan Dekker winning a couple of games in the European qualifier. Mario Robb and Berry Van Peer, both tight games, 6-5 against Robb. Van Peer was 6-4. Mickey Mansell had to win 3 games in his UK qualifier, beat Ireland's Steve Lennon, who I know hangs around with him on all the Pro Tour events, along with that little Irish cabal, Brendan Dolan in there. Diogo Portela, Brazilian. And Darren Johnson, Yorkshire's own, to make it through. Not seen much of Mickey Mansell on the Euro Tour this year, it's fair to say. Only saw him at the European Match Play first round loser.
Game on.
But Jan Dekker, he must be an infuriating player to play because you have no idea whether he's going to look world class or bang average. And there's not often much in between, is there? And it often changes leg by leg.
When he's good, he is outrageous. Like he was earlier this year in Sindelfingen, where he was hitting doubles like he had a hedgehog in his hand. But Jan, since then, hasn't really done much. And if you were one of his fans, it must be infuriating to say the least. But from a player's perspective, I can actually say this very honestly. I played him twice in the space of a month. The first time, he was awful. And he will admit that he was awful. It was an easy for me to win. The next time, I didn't get a look in. He just have got no idea what's going to turn up. He is the exact opposite to a very well-known paint brand.
Yes.
That comes in a very metallic tin.
Yeah, it is baffling, Jan Dekker. He is the very definition of mercurial. I mean, you don't make the semi-finals of Lakeside twice unless you can play. And certainly his finishing. Jan Dekker has bottle. And we saw that in Sindelfingen. He made the quarterfinals, and his finishing was absolutely unreal. Going into the final day, I think he was hitting 70% of his doubles. He was hitting everything if he got a shot at it. But this looks like average Dekker at the minute. That's a bit better. That's a lot better.
125.
But he's having some stray darts left and right.
Well, one of the reasons why his game is so up and down is because of his grip. He only grips it with the thumb and the forefinger. And there are not many players in history who have done that.
Easy one. And you require
if you try and do that at home, try and control the dart with a thumb and a forefinger. It's very, very difficult. That's why he gets a little bit of a wobble in the board. But it's also the reason why he can score quite heavily when he gets going. Because the dart doesn't fly very hard and they can gather very well. I was talking about that in the previous game with other examples. But in this leg, he's in command.
100.
He is.
And you require
Ton for Mansell
63.
gets him to a finish, but Dekker looking good. And we said it's the finishing that's the strongest part of his game.
Treble 17 will have double 6.
31.
And
You require
like with Max Hopp in the last game,
126.
Jan's rhythm is very up and down at the minute. It's slow, it's quick. He doesn't really know what to do right now.
He looks, I mean, I hesitate to say this. Mickey Mansell just looks to set this up. Yeah, he does set it up. Now, this is very
134.
interesting.
And you require 32.
Well, that's
Charles
good
and
from
first
Jan
leg, Jan
Dekker,
Dekker.
but I don't know if it's just a
Second leg,
while
Mickey
since I've
to
seen
throw
Jan play in the
first.
flesh.
Game on.
But it looks a worrying sort of pause before he's releasing the dart. And usually he's a little bit smoother than that. I'm not quite sure what that's down to. Maybe he's just taking his
60.
time and has decided that giving himself an extra second or so before he releases. You can see there, I mean,
That is a little bit more pronounced than usual.
yeah.
But I noticed from the very
100.
first dart he threw in this match that he took a long time to let it go, and he was being quite deliberate. And maybe it's just a ploy from practice.
Maybe. He seems to speed up with his second and third darts. Now, I'm not going to even go down that route because people don't like it
85.
when you start suggesting things. But it is very odd. Look, there we see. There we go. A bit quicker on the second one. And the third one
97.
is back to a normal rhythm.
Well, let's just say, for Jan's sake, let's hope it's not the dreaded
Nah.
something. Let's just hope it's something along the lines of being deliberate and just working hard.
Yeah, well, look, hey, he's one leg up. So
140.
no harm in that. Mickey Mansell, as the great Rod Harrington always describes him, as old school throw. He's like those throws of the old guys you see down the pub. You turn up and you think,
83.
they look all right, and then you get on the board and they batter you. There's something, a bit of a loopy throw. Just very simple. And he can be very, very effective, Mickey Mansell.
83.
Very much so. He's made some changes to his equipment over the course of the last year or so. He's gone to a longer stem because he just wants to have a little bit more stability in the air. Mickey's always been dangerous. Known Mickey for about 8 years now. Nothing wrong with that from Dekker. And that was a little bit quicker.
Mickey require 133.
But Mickey all of a sudden has to take out this 133. You can see Dekker from nowhere in this leg. He's in command. He's got a real chance of taking this leg and being a 2-0 up.
Well, 9 for double 16, you would think.
Charles in the second leg.
Absolutely no bother for Jan Dekker. 2-0. And Mickey Mansell in the spot to
leg on
bother.
to throw first.
Clono Cyclone
Game on.
broken in his opening leg on throw. Former World Cup semi-finalist, of course. You go back 3 years. He and Brendan Dolan were a force for a couple of years. And I mean,
96.
Brendan, for my money, that year, he was the best player in the World Cup. He was unbeaten in the singles. He beat Michael van Gerwen. It was only the Dutch going absolutely ballistic in the pairs. I mean, Michael van Gerwen and Raymond van Barneveld are something else. They're like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. They
85.
sort of combine into some gigantic darts machine that cannot be beaten in doubles format, in general.
So, based on what you said already in this match, Dan, it was the Mighty Morphin Power darting Rangers from the Netherlands
Yes.
against the Irish
59.
Cabal.
Yes, yeah, that's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was.
There's a Street Fighter game I want to play.
Well, I'd buy it. But Mickey's not really had that much success on the
100.
tour this year. I mean, he had to win his tour card back at the start of this year. I mean, he's played pretty much everything, so it's nice to see. I know Mickey, in the past, 2 or 3 years, has had little spells where he's had injured and missed things.
100.
But he's won his board 2 or 3 times, but not gone any further than the last 16. The big, sign that maybe Mickey Mansell was coming into a better form was the 9-darter he hit in qualifying for this one. First PDC competitive 9-darter for Mickey Mansell.
And let's not forget that taking out Darren Johnson to get to this stage is a very good win because DJ has had a good season.
We beat Steve Lennon 6-1 as well, and I'm a big fan of Steve Lennon. I think he's a very, very promising young player.
58.
He's definitely got the right people around him, Steve Lennon. You got Mickey Mansell and Brendan Dolan and Willie O'Connor and those kind of guys giving you tutelage. You're not going to go far wrong.
Well, they've been around. They know the game. Certainly, the one thing you would say for all three of those guys is they've got the right temperament, haven't they?
I think the temperament of Mickey Mansell is probably his biggest thing. I think he's very unflappable. You can't unsettle the guy at all.
Well, he may need to call upon that right now because he's coming under some pressure from Dekker. He's given himself a little opportunity here to break back. He's not going to take out the 145. If he can leave himself handy... Oh, dear me, Mickey. Oh, Mickey. So wide. So wide, you blow my mind. 107 for Jan Dekker. Lovely dart. This would be very Dekker, wouldn't it?
75.
Well, that corner has been very good to him in this match, and I thought he was going to hit that. I really did. But now, by virtue of that last visit, Mickey Mansell has got a very difficult shot. It's a little bit easier now. Oh, he's missed a 12. And he's going to be
78.
telling himself off in his own head. He will not show that or do it out loud, but he'll be absolutely furious because Dekker has taken advantage and he's 3-0 up.
Full flag Mickey to throw first. Game on.
Jan Dekker, for me, I don't know about you, Dan, but I think he's got one of the best dart shirts on the circuit.
Oh, you like this one, do you?
From my own personal taste, I'm not into the rascal shirting.
95.
But I think Jan, especially this colour, because I'm from the northeast of England originally.
Well,
black and white, lovely.
Well, you used to work at a clothes shop as well, didn't you? A trendy one.
A trendy one, well, it's shut down now. Obviously, it wasn't that trendy. Opposite the Theatre Royal in Newcastle. And then I went to another clothes shop, which also closed down a few years later. Nothing to do with me, I might add, but...
Yeah, however, if you do own a clothes shop, don't employ Paul Nicholson, my advice. Ooh, Mickey Mansell missing out on the first maximum.
But what I like about the shirt is it's understated, it's a good fit, he looks great in it, and it's not rascal.
Well...
Looks like the kind of thing you'd see on a golf course. Or, you know, high-end clothes shop by a very well-made, well-known German designer. That's the kind of thing he would design, so that's why I like it.
Well, each to their own. I prefer Jan Dekker in
100.
His profile photo where he looks like something from American Psycho, with a blazer and a tie. It's a strong look. There we go, got it on the screen there. It's lovely. I've always got it. It's my homepage.
If only we could actually put that on the screen.
Oh, that's more like it.
Well, that shot is very worthy of the profile picture, which looks like a cross between American Psycho and Harry Potter.
Right, it's got him right back in this leg, Jan Dekker, and Mickey Mansell is struggling. He's getting to the back end of legs, and he'll have a poor visit, and it's costing him. 5.19s. We'll leave him a 2-darter.
Is this the point where we can say that the fact that Mickey Mansell qualified for this nearly 6 weeks ago and Jan Dekker qualified a week ago, that's where the difference may be?
It may be. Well, certainly, you know, Mickey Mansell throwing that 9-darter in qualifying, and you go, well, he's coming into it in some form, but of course that was a number of weeks ago. And what bearing does it have, really, on this tournament right now, on this game right now? Is it tops? Oh, it's treble 16. For double 16.
68.
Again, it's 1 dart at double 16, but usually Jan Dekker is coming back and having more goes at it. In fact, every time so far in this game. Can Mickey Mansell stop the rot? Double 10. There it is.
And a full flag.
And the Northern Irishman does get a leg on the board. 3-1.
Well, when you've got to get yourself back into a game, you've got to start somewhere, and that's the start for Mickey Mansell. That could well turn this game around.
77.
But Jan Dekker visibly playing a little bit faster now, definitely into the game. And I noticed Jan's face when he missed that double 16 there for the 100 checkout. He was exasperated, thinking, I should have got that. Give myself that 4-0 lead.
140.
And from there, you can't really see much of a way back for the Cyclone.
Yeah, it would have been a double break. But this is the thing with Jan Dekker. You always feel you're in the game because
45.
You just, at any moment, he could pull out an absolute worldie and take out a 167 from nowhere, but you also feel he could go off the boil at any moment. You've just got no idea what to expect from him. And as I say, it can change leg by leg.
100.
And he started off and it looked like he was struggling with his throw. Then he seemed to be getting into it and the rhythm seemed to be a bit quicker. This looks like it slowed down a bit.
One thing I'll say about this atmosphere as well, because I've played in front
100.
of these kind of Friday afternoon crowds, it's very, very difficult to get, in the words of Jamie Caven, a little bit angry. Because sometimes when you get that blood pumping and the adrenaline going through your body, you can just do things that you wouldn't normally be able to do on the floor or in a closed camera type of situation.
It's a much better leg of darts from
60.
Mickey Mansell. Jan Dekker 4 visits not down to a finish. Mickey Mansell down to 1 after 3. So it could be the break back. And to put the Northern Irishman right back in this, is it 15s he's looking at here? It was.
81.
Well, that will do. Double top for Mickey Mansell to close the gap to 1 and be throwing to level up at 3 apiece. And we're seeing those strayed. Oh dear, he's gone even wider.
29. Mickey, you require 40.
Well, he's proven your point, Dan. He's very unpredictable today, Jan Dekker. Will Mickey Mansell get tops? To close within 1. Yes, he does.
Mickey Mansell.
Now, that little nod from Mansell says, right, come on then. And I'm not going to attempt his accent because it is about as thick
6
as a
leg,
syrup
Mickey to
trifle.
throw first. Game on.
Yeah, there's no disputing where Mickey Mansell's from, which part of the world. But I think what we've seen here is Mickey Mansell's temperament. Having gone 3-0 down, some players might have gone, oh, it's not happening for me, I'm not playing. And then the game just drifts away from them and they don't really
85.
challenge. But he's managed to scrap his way to 1 leg, then put in a pretty solid 1 to claw it back, and now completely different mindset going into this one. But then again, he might play in a completely different player because Jan Dekker might just suddenly kick in again.
140.
Somehow rattled that third dart in between those two.
One thing that a lot of people really should know about Mickey Mansell, he's very fit.
He's always on the bike, isn't he?
Does a lot of cycling. You can see Mickey Mansell on a bike with that helmet on and saying, that's a big hill. I can get up that hill. Well, right now, he's halfway up the hill because when he was 3-0 down, he was at the bottom. And he was saying to himself, I can still climb this thing. So, from a sports psychology perspective, he does a lot of the right things behind the scenes. And because of his own approach to the game, that's what makes him dangerous because you can't ever write him off.
100.
Yeah, he's a scrapper, Mickey Mansell. As I say, not really been going for him so far this year, but you can never write him off. He's a very dangerous customer. That's a little bit unfortunate, that one. Does stray into the treble 7s, but looked like it took a deflection from that one in the 19s.
Of course, Northern Irish Darts is on the map right now with Daryl Gurney, isn't it? It's flying. And
65.
the guys like Brendan Dolan and
48.
Mickey Mansell and whoever else wants to try the circuit from Northern Ireland, they should ride that wave because we're going to be seeing a lot of Daryl Gurney over the next few years.
We certainly will. Of course, the Grand Prix this year, no Irish qualifying spots either. That's one that Mickey Mansell has benefited from in the past. Very unlucky last year. He was in the qualifying spot all the way through the year, except for the 2 weeks where Mick McGowan had nicked it, and that were the 2 that counted. Oh, great setup shot.
You only require 89.
Now, Jan Dekker, these are the sorts of things he's very dangerous at taking out. Now, 20-foot ball. Oh, even better, double 5. Oh, what a shot that is, Jan Dekker. 15-darter to break back immediately and establish that 2-leg lead once more.
Not only is that a great shot, but that keeps Mickey Mansell at arm's length. Just when you think Mickey Mansell is going to be level, Jan Dekker pulls out a little bit of magic. And a lot of people would say he didn't guarantee himself that shot at the bull because he has had a few wayward shots, but he backed himself, and I applaud Jan Dekker. That was a great shot.
Yeah, it's those finishes. And again, we said at the start of it, he's got bottle.
81.
And if your opponent's got 3 darts at a double and Jan Dekker's on one of those awkward finishes, you might get a dart at a double, you might get a dart at a bull, maybe it's just over a ton plus, or sometimes even bigger than that. Jan Dekker is very, very dangerous. He just seems to be able at crucial moments
34.
to just focus and get another bit of something, a little bit of magic out of himself. And we saw that in those lakeside runs that he had when he made the semi-finals a couple of times. He's not going to terrify people with a
85.
barrage of big scores, not usually anyway, but he's finishing, particularly at crucial moments. It can be deadly and demoralising as well, because you can feel you're getting the better of a player, can't you? You feel you're all over him, and he
60.
keeps winning legs here. Now, he took a set off me, or I'm 3 legs behind.
Yeah, this is his kind of game, isn't it? It's a little bit scrappy. It's gritty. But on the odd occasion,
140.
he does have a magical game. I mean, when he played in Sindelfingen earlier this year, there was one in particular.
108 average, was
Yeah, it was so out of character.
Oh.
Ooh.
133.
It's good. Leaves him a 2-darter. A lot of players would have looked at the 19s here, because 5 of them would leave around 100. Well. Last dart
85.
saves him to a
And you
degree.
require 74.
That is a good 85 in the end. With 74, that leaves that double 16 again. That's a good guide. The different camera angle will show that. There it is. It was a
58.
lovely guide, and he can't believe he missed
You
it.
require 110.
A smile from Jan Dekker. He seemed more surprised than anything else that he couldn't find the double 16. Tops. Oh,
70.
might be the
Only
difference, you know.
requires
1 dart at a
16.
double. Jan Dekker took it out in the last leg to break. Mickey Mansell doesn't take it out. And he is
It's
punished, and
yours
it's
to the
5-2
seventh
Dekker.
leg.
Mansell has to win 4 consecutive legs,
think
and it
Mickey
may
should throw
be a
first.
little bit too much for the
Game.
Clono side. Clono is averaging just shy of 90. It's a point or 2 clear of Jan Dekker, but it's the right shot at the right time, and that is what Jan Dekker has done all his career. And there's no margin for error for Mickey Mansell, but he started off perfectly in this leg.
I just like to talk about the last leg when Mickey Mansell at 110 hits the 60. He's got 50 left, and over the course of the season, I've seen more people
85.
going for the treble 10 and double 10 combination because they want to stay in the same area. Now, I believe that Mickey Mansell was trying to do that. I don't think he was going for the single 10. The single 10 was the insurance shot.
81.
It is interesting. I mean, you see players so often when they want a single number to leave tops or double 16, and they will go for the treble. And I think I've asked you this before about, I mean, some players
85.
have a theory that all it does, it concentrates their mind, because if they're going for a smaller target, then they have to focus for it, whereas if they're going anywhere in Big 10 will do, and they can lose concentration, and then accidentally it slips in the 6, or accidentally it slips next door into the 15, and they don't get the dart at the double.
What they don't tend to take into consideration is adrenaline. Sometimes you go for a single 16 and you only just hit it on the top side of the segment. You think, well, there's a bit of adrenaline. That's okay because it's
59.
still in. You go for a treble 16 on 56, for instance. You might go in to the single 8, and all of a sudden you've only got 1 shot at a double. I'm a big advocate for the singles and not going for the trebles. If your opponent is not in a finish, by all means go for the treble if you want. But assure yourself a shot at that double. That is the most important thing in this game.
Oh, it's like we always say, don't miss the big numbers, as we call it. Mickey Mansell
105.
to close the gap.
You require
Needs 4
40.
consecutive legs. Got 3 darts here at tops. Get one of them.
Game shot.
Lovely stuff. 13 darter. Nothing wrong with that, Mickey Mansell.
Throw first.
Yeah, picture perfect double top from Mickey Mansell. And we mentioned that Jan Dekker's got a black and white shirt on. Well,
97.
so has Mickey Mansell. It's like one's got the away shirt on and one's got the home shirt on.
benefit of our viewers watching in black and white. Mickey Mansell
60.
has the red flights.
Jan, of course, used to have the nickname Mr. Coat.
45.
And he wore, we talked about Rascal shirts. He is one of the best advocates of a dart shirt on the circuit, but he's definitely not the best advocate for coats.
Well, it was a look. I'll give him that.
Well, one of them he wore at the Grand Slam a few years ago. Looked like it was
123.
thrown away by the Liverpool football team when they went to Wembley once. It was
The old white suit.
It was awful.
There is only one man in darts, I believe, should be wearing a white suit, and I think he should be wearing it every single hour,
60.
every day. And that is our finalist from last weekend, the bronzed Adonis Steve Beaton, who you will see tonight. If you're watching it, not just because you're looking at the big poster you've got on your wall. I know you've got a big poster of Steve Beaton on your wall, but he's also playing here against Jamie Bain.
81.
It's the epitome of the bad guy versus the good guy, isn't it? Because Bane as the bad guy in Batman, and Steve Beaton, who was pretty much the good guy in every single sense.
Yeah.
Not saying that Jamie Bain's a bad guy, he's not.
99.
But he's a very tricky dart player, so Steve Beaton's got to bring his game tonight.
It's a very enticing game, that one. But this could turn out to be a bit of a thriller here, because Mickey Mansell, another treble, leave him on a two-darter. Oh, and he's got it. And he's got it.
I noticed in the background Jan Dekker was doing the Phil Taylors by biting his flights. Maybe a little bit of anxiety. Thinking I've got 6 darts from 200. Well, the thing is, Jan, you might not get another shot if Mickey Mansell can take this out. It's a battle of the tons.
He would give his right arm for a treble 21st dart. It has to be tops. It has to be from this position. Oh, why not, Mickey? Why not?
60. And you require
Well, I see
100.
Jan Dekker go for treble 16 if he misses the treble 20 here. However, he doesn't miss it. And he doesn't miss the tops either.
And the match,
Clinical from Jan Dekker, the
Dekker.
Dutchman. Sometimes he brings a brilliant game, sometimes he brings a scratchy game, but today he has brought a good enough game against the dangerous Cyclone Mickey Mansell. Jan Dekker goes through. We will see him again tomorrow. After taking out Barry Van Peer and Mario Robb, he takes out Mickey Mansell, and he is the one who's going to be taking on Voltage Rob Cross tomorrow. Stick with us. Next game, Michael Ploy, another Dutchman who qualified last week, is playing yet another Dutchman in Jermaine Watermina. Stick with us for that. We'll get a word with Jan Dekker now with Elmar Polka.
Best match ever, but the double percentage was good, 50%.
Yeah, just the thing is, when you have to hit the double, it's always okay, but the scoring power was not there. So for me, it is a win. For me, that's important, but it was not good for me.
What went wrong? What's the reason for that? Where was the scoring power?
The thing is, I have to be true. I had a holiday for 2 weeks, and that after that, it's really hard to come back. And sometimes you can see it. I was a little bit struggling, and yeah. At the end, it's so important to hit it, just the triple 20 and then tops to make the game. So that's nice for me.
When we talk about holiday, so you don't play darts at all?
No, the thing is, we all have to play the whole year. It's unbelievable. You have to ask the big guys. They all say we have to work the whole year, and I mean, I have to say we have two weeks. We have to time for ourselves, and that's the thing I did. So, but I have to come back, and I will absolutely do Elmar.
Okay. What actually are you doing when you're not playing darts? What is Jan Dekker doing? Do you do sports or fishing? Or a lot of darts players do fishing, love to fish?
No, there are a lot of players. They play like professional, but I'm kind of semi. So I have also my own business. So
Okay. What kind of business?
it's a kind of financial advisory, you know, and. Yeah, I will do that about 2 or 3 days a week, and the rest of the time working. So.
Okay. Very interesting. Thank you very much. Jan Dekker, ihn sehen wir morgen wieder. Er sagt, er hat 2 Wochen Urlaub gemacht und das ist auch mal eine Zeit im August, wo du einfach auch mal Pause machen musst. Das machen wirklich einige, auch der Topspieler.